Over 12 million visitors come to Boston each year to take in our rich culture and history, but there's one amenity our downtown is distinctly lacking. Our Edgar B. Herwick explains.
Just ask anyone.
It was hard to find the restroom.
You know, there aren't really public bathrooms around here.
If I have to go, I don't know. It basically doesn't happen.
Really? In a high-minded cultural metropolis like Boston, can it really be that hard to attend to one of life's most mundane functions?
We keep hearing one thing over and over again, and that is that when you are out, it is really hard to find a restroom. So we decided that today we're going to go out and see for ourselves if it really is that hard. To aid in our journey, I have this entire thermos of water and an empty cup, which was my second cup of coffee of the day. So this puts us in a position where we really should need to find a restroom. Let's see what happens.
We started out near Copley Square, where one of 6 public toilets is located. Announced with great fanfare in 2001, the city promised these self-cleaning toilets would bring relief to the masses for just the cost of a quarter. But at this one on Boylston, we were out of luck.
Basically, it's broken all the time I go by.
So, off to another public toilet near City Hall Plaza.
Now what happens?
Totally ate our quarter. That totally just ate our quarter. And I really have to go to the restrooms.
John McDonough, who's a courier in the city, told us not to bother.
Those doors haven't opened in, I could be wrong, but about 4 years.
Next, our quest took us to the North End. Here, the third time was the charm. Sort of. We were out of quarters, and when we asked some locals if they could change $1, they did us one better.
This is a unlimited use of the bathroom token. We're not exactly sure how they got it, but we know it's going to work. These things are supposedly both self-cleaning and self-sanitizing. Now, self-sanitizing, maybe, but from the look of things, I'm not sure that we could call this clean. It's pretty warm in here. Now, we also supposedly have use of water in the sink, and there it is. You see it coming out, so that works. And then a little hand dryer comes in. There's theoretically some soap over here. There it is, soap coming out. I guess we already used up our water, so there's a problem. We didn't go left to right. It doesn't appear that there is any paper towels. We use some toilet paper here to clean off the soap.
We got in today, but according to our new friends, we got lucky.
A lot of time there's a lot of water.
And there no frickers and nothing.
So if these city toilets aren't reliable, what to do?
Well, one spot that we hear is a good option if you need to go to the restroom around Copley is the Boston Public Library. So we're going to test it out. It was easy as could be. I walked in, I asked the guy at the front desk, do you have a restroom? He pointed me right to it.
But libraries close. And what then? Boston resident Vicky Arroyo explains how she and her family do it when they're downtown.
Sometimes we kind of have to suck it up and ask the restaurant so we can just sneak in there.
So, yes, everyone we talk to agrees. Whether they're clean or dirty, well-marked or hard to find, there are simply not enough public restrooms in the hub. But enough of that, because it's time for me to go.
All right, and Edgar B. Herwick's here. You know, I gotta say, this makes me mad.
Yeah.
Those public restrooms, $250,000 each, all that fanfare, and didn't the company promise to have people on?
Well, I've been looking into this for some time now, and there was an article back in 2007 in the Globe where they talked about, they're going to need some maintenance here and there, but they promised there would be 2 people, supposedly, this company is called Wall USA, 2 people, 2 maintenance operators who would check in on these bathrooms multiple times a day. That is clearly not happening. Now, you saw in the piece, we went to 3 of 6 of these self-operating city toilets. Today, a few hours ago, I was out looking at the other 3. All 3 of them were out of order. So that means of the 6 that we visited, 5 were not in operating order. And you saw the one that we did actually go into.
That was disgusting.
Yeah. So you can see they're out of service. On one, you just saw there's a wooden door on it and is in a state of disrepair. You go inside of these. The one has the door. It's just stuck open. You walk in, and there were nothing but blue gloves in the toilet.
That is disgusting.
So it's a serious problem.
I can't believe that the mayor has tolerated this. He has no patience for this kind of stuff.
And you know what? It's a little bit unclear who's actually responsible for maintaining these. Now, this is part of this coordinated street furniture program, these public toilets, and that's in, there's the kiosks, the bus terminals, and they're all together under this program. and there's a company, and they do advertising in them.
Yeah.
It's not clear if the city's responsible to maintain them at this point, if it's the company who's selling the advertising in them, or if it's this Wall USA, who's a subsidiary of a German company. It's not even clear if that German company still has the USA subsidiary. So
between the two of us, we couldn't find somebody to call today.
Yeah.
I mean, they were dialing and getting nowhere, so
and nobody
clearly
the
don't want you to find them.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily that anybody's even being evasive. It's just clear that nobody is in charge here, right? This is a situation where nobody is in charge. And the result is that at least at these 6 toilets, they're not working and they're not being operated. So,
got to ask you about that token.
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay, so it's about the size of a quarter. It was like gold in color, and you saw there's like a little hole in the middle. It had Thomas Menino's name on it. It had the insignia for Wall, which is the company that makes these toilets. And the guys that we talked to, they said, we have this token. I said, where did you get it? He goes, no. I'm like, what? You can't tell me? He's like, I do you a favor, but I can't say. I can't say. So he was very mum. And when he told me he did me a favor, I said, you know what? I'm gonna let this lie. You did me a favor. Thank you. I'm not gonna push it. But he wouldn't say where he got it.
They might be for public employees, and they're handed out.
It could be.
Mayor's name on it.
It very much could be. I mean, these guys. I was talking to these guys. They play cards there in the North End all the time, and they're right by that public restroom. So maybe they know somebody who knows somebody, and they kind of have a sweetheart deal where they're able to use it all the time, which is fine. I don't mind it. I think tokens abound for people who've earned some tokens, but the tokens aren't going to do you any good if the toilets aren't working.
Ugh. Anyway, so we have a map that we're going to put up that actually does show a couple locations where people...
Yeah, we have a couple locations on our map right now. The 6 that we talked about, some other private bathrooms that people, when we were out and about, suggested are good options. People said things like hotels are a really good option, bars are a really good option. Some let you in, some don't. But we really want people to go to our website, WGBHnews.org, and tell us where they go. If they have a secret spot or a good spot or somewhere in the city where they know there's a good toilet, share it with us. We'll add it to the map. We'll keep it as a living and breathing resource.
I've got my spot.
Yeah, where?
It's called Marlborough Street, where I live.
Well, good. Now I have my spot. I'll come knocking on your door when I'm on Marlborough Street.
All right. Thanks a lot, Edgar.
Thanks,
all right.
Emily.
Well, could it turn into our own version of Carmageddon? The Longfellow Bridge has been reduced to a single lane, part of a 3-year closure that will push commuters into contorted detours all across the city and fears of snarled traffic for months to come.
People driving that need to get into Cambridge, they're going to have a hard time. They're not going to be happy campers.
It's going to be a big impact on the city.
It's going to be a big pain in the neck, but it needs to be done.
The attitude. All right, we'll have more on the Longfellow closure on tomorrow's show. In the meantime, tell us what you think of the project. How will it impact you? Contact us at WGBHnews.org. I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for watching.